do not know how hard it was to film a video. This is like my third time already because there's so many noises in my house, so many people. I got a dog, I got a loud sister, and they're all next door. So I'm literally right next to the bathroom, so if you hear like doors opening, toilets flushing, sinks running, it's because someone's in the bathroom. But anyway, today I wanted to do some soft-spoken whispering lo-fi video talking about the upcoming scary movies that are going to be releasing this year. Well, not all of them this year. There's some movies that won't be released until next year, but I'm so excited. The first one that I'm going to talk about is Scream 5. So if you haven't seen the other Scream movies, no spoilers, but also come on now, if you haven't seen the other Scream movies, you're definitely missing out. I love scary movies. It's like my favorite genre. I don't know why. You know how like people have their comfort type of movies, like comedies or rom-coms or stuff like that? Well, mine's definitely horror movies. I love horror movies. I love how typical they are. I even love the bad ones. I love all horror movies. There's never usually a bad horror movie in my eyes. Unless we're talking about those horror movies that's like house is haunted, families being haunted by a ghost, and at the end someone dies. A priest comes over, whatever the case may be. I don't really like haunted house type movies. I don't know why. I just think they're really bad. Really bad. And that's saying something because I usually like bad movies. But Scream is definitely one of the most iconic franchises. Of course, we all know Scream, Ghostface, the long white mask, who is out to get Sidney Prescott. And now, well, what I was saying previously, in the other video that I was recording before this one, was that honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think that Sydney is the problem. Because, come on now, if you're being chased and trying to get killed by one psycho, that's one thing. Maybe two, okay, you're unlucky. But at this point, we're going on our 5th killer who's out to get this woman. So I'm thinking Sydney's the problem. Okay, Sydney, something's wrong with Sydney. Like, why are so many people trying to kill you? Like, I don't get it. Scream 4 was actually released in 2011. That was literally 10 years ago. It's so crazy because I remember being like probably in the 8th grade going to see this movie in the theater, but it does not seem that long ago. It seems like maybe 5 years ago max that this movie came out. But really, 10 years? Like that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. And I loved it. They have all the original cast, like Sydney, of course, played by Neve Campbell, and they have Dewey, who plays the cop, and they have Gail Weathers, who's the reporter. So those 3 characters from the past 4 movies The past 3 movies were in the 4th film, and along with a lot of new actors, um, one of them including Emma Roberts. And it turned out that she's a family member of Sidney Prescott in the 4th movie. But if you haven't seen the 4th movie, I'm not going to spoil anything. Just go watch them, please. If you haven't seen the Scream movies, go watch them. I actually grew up watching Scream 3 the most, and I think the reason being is that it was always playing on TV, on cable, whatever channel that may be. Scream 3 was always playing. When I tell you that they never showed Scream 2, I don't know if that's just me, but they never showed Scream 2. I just remember them doing like a bunch of reruns of Scream 3, so I think that's why, like, when I think of Scream, I think of that one the most. It's probably because I've seen it the most out of all of them. But it's just such a classic. The first one is a classic because we got Billy Loomis, played by, I forgot his name, but he's in so many iconic movies. He's so hot. He's still hot now. See, the original Scream came out in 1997, and that's when I was born too. So I kind of feel like this connection to Scream because it came out the year I was born. I just felt like it was meant to be mine, my era. Oh, okay. So Billy Loomis is played by Skeet Ulrich. Billy Loomis plays Sidney Prescott's boyfriend in the first movie, if you don't know. And the actor who plays him is Skeet Ulrich. So if you don't know Skeet Ulrich, he is in Riverdale. He plays Jughead's dad. I don't need to say no more. If you know, you know. He is fine. And actually, he's been trending recently because he started dating Lucy Hale, I think her name is. She's from Pretty Little Liars. And people were talking about how he's like too old to be dating her, but no. Let's save that for you know who. For other people. Lucy Hale is like a 30-year-old woman. Skeet Ulrich is like 40s. They're both grown adults. Yes, he is older than her, but it's a very much appropriate adult relationship, so I approve. But anyways, he is so good looking. He was good looking then, and he's good looking now. And also, he is in he kind of plays like the villain character in The Craft. The Craft is about the witches. If you've never seen The Craft, literally one of the best movies you'll ever see in your life. And also, oh my gosh, Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell. Neve Campbell is also in that movie, The Craft. She plays one of the witches, one of the main characters in the movie. Really, really awesome movie. Also came out in the 90s, and I heard that they're actually going to make a remake of that movie. I've been hearing that for years. I don't know if it's actually happening, but I did hear that they were going to bring back some original characters from the original Craft movie, that they were going to bring them back in this remake. So, I mean, Neve Campbell is still very much active, so I could totally see them bringing her back as one of the witches, as well as another main character. Her name was Sarah in the movie. But anyway, going back to Scream 5. So I was saying Scream 4 came out 10 years ago in 2011. We're in 2021. And Scream 5 is actually set to come out. It's not set to come out until 2022. So January 14th, 2022. So early next year. It's going to go by super fast. No worries. I'm super excited. And I did see on Twitter that they actually have several alternate scripts or several alternate endings to this movie, just because they don't want any spoil alerts to come out to the audience before they release the movie. they absolutely do not want the killer to be revealed, because that's like the whole point. The entire time of the movies, you're trying to figure out who Ghostface is. So they definitely don't want that big one coming out. And I'm glad they have all those alternate endings, because if I found out who the killer was before Scream 5 came out, I'd be really upset. I'd be like, what's the point of watching it at this point? You know what I mean? So when you go on Google and you look up Scream 5, they actually do not even have like a plot or a summary of what the movie is gonna be about. I mean, we know what it's gonna be about, right? The killer going after Sidney Prescott, but they don't really give you any details. They only really talk about who the producer is, who the director is, but they do have the cast. So like I said before, they have the original, some of the original characters, of course, including Neve Campbell, who plays Sidney Prescott. But looky here, they have Jenna Ortega playing Tara Carpenter. So this is a completely new character. Jenna Ortega, she's from the Disney Channel. She was in a Disney Channel show called Stuck in the Middle, I believe. She's Hispanic. We have Dylan Minnett, who will be playing Wes Hicks, and that is Dylan Minnett is the what's his name? He's the boy from 13 Reasons Why, the good guy. We all know who that is, right? The good guy. We have I'm trying to see if I recognize any other characters that I hadn't seen in previous movies. We actually do have a lot of original characters, like Marley Shelton. She plays Deputy Judy. She's like the blonde girl who's kind of annoying, and she was low-key trying to get at Dewey, who's like the main sheriff or whatever. We have another character that's coming back. Her name is Heather Matarso. If you don't know Heather Matarso, she's a queen. She plays what's her name in the Princess Diaries? Well, she plays Mia's best friend in the Princess Diaries. Her. She's gonna come back as I don't know who she's gonna come back as. I actually forgot her character in Scream, but I do know that she was in the previous Scream movie. So that's really exciting. I don't even think they've come out with the trailer. Did it come out with the trailer? If they came out with the trailer already, I'm gonna have to check it out. Okay, let's move on to the next movie that I'm really excited about, because we're already on 13 minutes. The Conjuring. The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It. So, The Conjuring world is a franchise that is very popular. We all know what The Conjuring is. It inspired the Annabelle movies as well. The Conjuring and the Annabelle movies are kind of like in that same world. Well, we have a new Conjuring movie come out. It's called The Devil Made Me Do It. It comes out next month. Yes, next month, June 4th, 2021. So excited. I actually recently saw the trailer for this movie, and it seems like it's going to be a bop. Of course, we have Ed and Lorraine Warren coming back. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson playing Ed and Lorraine Warren. I do recognize some of the other cast here. We have someone named, I don't know her name is Sterling Jarrett, coming back as Judy Warren, so that's Ed and Lorraine's daughter. There's actually a lot of actors that I don't really recognize in this new movie. But I love that. I love discovering new actors and seeing fresh new faces in movies, especially in big franchises. I think that's really cool because most likely than not, like, this is their first big movie for these actors, and they'll get a lot of exposure from this and probably book other roles as well. So that's really cool. Let's read a little bit of like the summary or the synopsis that it gives us on the IMDb page. DB. Okay, so it says here, a chilling story of terror, murder, and unknown evil that shocked even experienced real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. One of the most sensational cases from their files. It started with a fight for a soul of a young boy, then takes them beyond anything they'd ever seen before, to mark the first time in U.S. history that a murder suspect would claim demonic possession as a defense. That's really good. The Devil Made Me Do It reveals a chilling story of terror, murder, and unknown evil that shocked even experienced. Wait, that's the same thing. Okay. The Devil Made Me Do It case is the first known case in the United States in which the defense sought to prove innocence based upon the defendant's claim of demonic possession and denial of personal responsibility for the crime. And that's so interesting. This sounds like it's going to be a lot different from what we've seen in the other Conjuring movies. Along with The Nun, along with Annabelle, also The Nun is another movie that's kind of birthed from the Conjuring movies. So it's The Conjuring, Annabelle, and The Nun that are all part of that world. They're kind of all connected. And based, at least The Conjuring is based on supposed real cases from the Ed and Lorraine Warren files. So these are supposed to be, or at least inspired by real cases and real events that happened and that were investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren. So if you didn't know that, Ed and Lorraine Warren from the Conjuring movies are real life people. They both recently passed away. First it was I believe Ed, and then it was Lorraine. They were real life paranormal investigators, and they worked on a lot of infamous cases such as the Amityville horror case. They were on that. So this is another case from there. So what I'm getting from this is that the movie is going to be about someone who kills someone or several people, and he claims that he's innocent, right? He claims that it's a demonic possession, and they bring Ed and Lorraine Warren onto the case to find out if this is true, whether or not this guy is just making it up, or if there really is something demonic going on. And I'm sure it's gonna get real deep, and the demon is probably gonna come after Ed and Lorraine Warren, maybe after their family, and I don't know. Someone's getting possessed. It's really interesting though, because I'm curious to see how that goes like that, if like the person was possessed and then he killed someone, and then the demon came out of his body and he's like okay now, and now he's like okay, I didn't do it, here I am going off to court. Or if the demon is like in his body the entire time throughout the movie and throughout his trial, if the demon just kind of comes up whenever it feels like it, or if it just kind of did a little dip in dip out type of moment. So I'm curious to see how that will go. That's another movie that I'm just super excited for. For sure I'm gonna go see it in theaters now that theaters are open. Yay. I could probably watch it at home, but it's just like such a different experience when you're in the theater watching it. Okay. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is, oh my gosh, what was the other one? Oh, Halloween. Okay. Halloween by far is my favorite franchise ever. The original Halloween movie came out in the 1970s. The 1970s? Mm-hmm. Big hit. There's been several movies, several Halloween movies made after the original one. I love all of them except for maybe one that I don't really mess with. It's the one with that came out I think like early 2000 or late 90s. It was the one where it was like a reality TV show inside of Michael Myers' house. Tyra Banks was in it. It was so chaotic. It was such a mess. It was such a mess. It was such a mess. That's my least favorite Halloween movie, I would have to say. But I, of course, love the original Halloween movies. Halloween 1, Halloween 2, which Halloween 2 is actually kind of like a backstory of like the evil that is brought on by like the mask, or like of the mask that Michael Myers wears, or not even the mask. Halloween 2, it's called Season of the Witch. Michael Myers is not even in that movie. Laurie Strode is not in that movie. None of the Halloween characters are in the second movie. None. It's kind of just like a backstory of like the evil behind Michael Myers and the drive behind the evilness that is Michael Myers. It's kind of like a big conspiracy theories of like witches and hypnotism, and I think it plays into like the mask that he wears, because the mask is like kind of like a cursed mask, or not even, because he picks up like just random masks. It's not like a specific mask. But in Season of the Witch, there's a thing with like this pumpkin mask that you put it on, and you're like trapped and you're hypnotized by like the song and the commercial of like this company that sells these masks. And it's really weird. It's really weird. You have to kind of see it to understand it. I don't even understand it at this point. But anyway, Halloween 3, actually Halloween 1 and Halloween 3, it's kind of like Halloween 2 doesn't even exist, because at the end of Halloween 1, that's where Halloween 3 picks up. So at the end of Halloween 1, Laurie Strode is taken to the hospital, and Halloween 3, that's where it picks up from that same night, and it continues on. I think some of my favorite Halloween movie from the old classic ones would be like Halloween 4 and 5, with Jamie, who is Laurie Strode's daughter. I love the movies with her. I think they're so scary. So many jump scares, just very creepy. I think by that point, they really had it down. as to like how to scare the audience. It kind of like keeps you on your toes. You're like oh, all tight watching it. That's probably like my favorite. And then we have the newer Halloween movies, the ones directed by Rob Zombie, which a lot of people don't like those. I personally like the classic ones better, but like I said, I love the entire Halloween franchise. So I really do enjoy watching them. The new ones as well, the Rob Zombie ones, especially the first one, the Halloween one, the Rob Zombie one, because it gives you like a backstory on Michael Myers as a young boy and kind of like why he got to that point and why he is who he is and or why he became that monster. Um, it really shows like a lot of abuse during his childhood from just like his stepdad and his mom also not being very mentally stable and not being like in a good environment, good and healthy environment, just very chaotic. But from the beginning, you can tell that there was something wrong with him, that he definitely needed help and early intervention because he was out there killing hamsters and just killing animals, which is like the first sign of like a psychopath or like a murderer, soon to be murderer. So there was definitely red flags. But anyway, now the Rob Zombie movies I think came out in like 2008, 2010, and it was in 2018 that again a whole new Halloween movie came out, and this movie, it doesn't go back to the beginning and like it doesn't redo the first movie. It like goes off of Laurie Strode being like older now, and it shows her daughter being older and having her own family, and it's actually Laurie Strode's granddaughter who's like the main character. And you see her and her friends being stalked by Michael Myers, and of course this whole time, again, kind of like Ghostface being after Sidney Prescott, Michael Myers is out to kill Laurie Strode. Okay, so like his main goal is killing Laurie Strode, but he will kill anything and everyone that stands in his way. He wants to kill the entire, like, any blood relation he might have to anyone. He doesn't like that. He doesn't F with his family. He wants to get rid of any and all bloodline. So he's out to kill like the entire family, but mostly he's out to kill Laurie Strode because at some point in the earlier movies he did end up killing her, I do believe. But this movie, it completely ignores that fact, and in this movie Laurie Strode is very much alive and Michael Myers is trying to kill her. So it kind of like ignores a lot of stuff from the past. This is kind of just like a fresh beginning type of storyline, and a lot of the Halloween movies do that. Like the Rob Zombie movies, it doesn't really go off of like the original ones. It kind of does their own thing. This movie that came out in 2018 also doing its own thing, still going off of the same plot, like the same characters and Michael Myers killing Laurie Strode, but it all the little details from the past, like it doesn't even take it into account. Which is cool with me because I'm good with 10 years down the line them making a whole other Halloween movie. Like, I love the Halloween movies. They have such a close place in my heart. I don't know why. I just grew up watching them. Like, it was just another feel-good type of movie. Even though it was creepy, especially when I was younger, I absolutely loved watching the Halloween movies. And still to this day, when October rolls around, I will have a Halloween marathon. I will watch all the movies ever made of Halloween, except for that Tyra Banks one. No. Okay, so this one's actually called the one that's going to be coming out on October 31st. Wait, no, I'm wrong. The new Halloween movie, which is a continuation of the Halloween movie made in 2018, will come out on October 15th, so in a couple months, 2021. And actually, this movie was set to be released October 2020. It was either September or October 2020, but because of the pandemic and COVID, they didn't want to release it. Like, they didn't want to go straight to TV type of movies. They didn't want to do that. They wanted Halloween Kills to have its big moment, its big release in theater. So they decided to hold back an entire year so that it's able to be released in theater. And I was kind of sad when I heard that news because I love the Halloween movies and I was so ready to watch the next one. But I totally get it. Like, I understand. Like, I'm really happy that they did wait because a part of me does want to go to the theater and watch it on the big screen. And I think it deserves it. And I heard that the reason that they did that also was because, well, of course they're going to say this, but they said that this one's even better than the one from 2018. This one's bigger, better, scarier, and it deserved to be seen in theaters. So that's why they wanted to hold back on it and release it in 2021 instead. So I'm really, really excited. I have seen a trailer for it. Now, I don't know if this next movie, Halloween Kills, is like a continues from the last movie, like that same night, and it just continues on, or if it's like months later, a year later, or something like that. Because supposedly at the end of the first movie, they kill Micheal Myers, and they kind of drive off into the sunset, or not the sunset because it was nighttime, but I don't really know if it's gonna be like continuing on that same night or if it'll be like a while. But it's still the same characters. The mom, Laurie Strode, played by obviously Jamie Lee Curtis, iconic Jamie Lee Curtis. She's from the original Halloween movies, the one made in 1970 something. Jamie Lee Curtis plays Laurie Strode, and in this movie, all the way in 2021, she plays herself again as Laurie Strode, but she's a whole ass grandma, and she has her daughter who has a family of her own, and Laurie Strode's granddaughter is like a main character too. So it's kind of like the three of them. So it's like the grandma, the mom, and her all going up against Micheal Myers, and they'll be in this. All of them will be in this movie. We have Kyle Richards as Lindsay Wallace. Was she in the last one? I'm not sure. I forgot. I'm not sure. A lot of these people I don't recognize, but they actually don't have that big of a cast. Tommy Doyle, played by Anthony Michael Hall. So if you don't know Anthony Michael Hall, he is one of the original Brat Pack members from the 80s. You know, those like Pretty in Pink, 16 Candles. He played that dorky white kid. That's Anthony Michael Hall. Love him. He plays Tommy Doyle. So if you don't know Tommy Doyle from the original Halloween movies back in the 70s, Laurie Strode babysitted Tommy Doyle. So in the movie, he was like a young kid, this Tommy Doyle character, and Laurie Strode babysitted him. And he's back in this movie as himself, but he's all grown up, of course. Anthony Michael Hall did not play Tommy Doyle in the 70s, no, but he does play an adult Tommy Doyle. I wonder if they have like a little bit of a like synopsis or summary on it. Halloween Kills summary. Oh, okay. I'm on the Wikipedia page. It says Halloween Kills is an upcoming American slasher film directed by David Gordon Green and written by Green, Danny McBride, and Scott Teems. The film is a sequel to 2018's Halloween and the 12th installment of the Halloween franchise. The film stars Jamie Lee Curtis and Nick Castle reprising their roles as Laurie Strode and Micheal Myers. Wait, Nick Castle. Okay. With James Jude Courtney also portraying Myers. Judy Greer, Andy Matchett, Kyle Richards, Nancy Steffens, and Charles Cyphers reprise their roles from the 2018 and 1978 films. All of those characters were in the original 1978 films. I don't know who those actors are. I don't recognize them. It's probably because they were like younger back then, and now obviously they're much older. With Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Longstreet also joining the cast. The film is produced by Jason Blum through his Blumhouse Productions banner alongside Malik Akid and Bill Block. Okay, we all know Jason Blum, or Bloom, is it Bloom or Blumhouse Productions? But we all know it's the Blumhouse production. You know it, right? Before every bomb scary movie, it's somewhere it's like a dark room, and then there's like a chair flying in the air, and there's like a ghost looking like with long black hair down her face, looking like The Grudge. That's the Blumhouse production movies, and every Blumhouse production movie that I've seen is always super good. So we already know. Still set. Okay, so it says the premise. Still set on Halloween 2018, Laurie Strode and her family work with new and old allies to form a mob against Micheal Myers, who is still loose in Haddonfield. Okay, so we are continuing from where the original 2018 movie left off, because it says here it's still set in Halloween 2018. So, and maybe it is. Maybe it's going to continue from that same night where the last movie left off. Cool. I'm super excited. It doesn't say too much. It just kind of, that's basically the premise of it. I'm sure they don't want to give too much info. They don't want to spoil anything. But that one comes out in October. Super excited. Definitely will be going to the theaters to watch. Oh, okay. This is the last movie that I'm going to talk about. But that is The Purge. The Purge film series. Now, a lot of people, I feel like, don't necessarily like The Purge that much. I loved the Purge movies. There was a day where I literally just decided, it was just like a regular Thursday, while I was doing my homework, that I was just gonna have like a Purge marathon, and it was like the best thing of my life. I watched from the first to like the fourth film. I watched all of them. They're amazing. I loved all of them. I feel like a lot of people say that they don't really like the first one, that it's kind of more boring, but I really enjoyed it. It's funny because I actually didn't see the first Purge movie when it first came out. I didn't see it until like 2 years later. I actually saw the second Purge movie before I saw the first one. But the first and the second one don't really have anything to do with each other. It's like a whole new like storyline with different people. So it didn't really matter. But I did hear that a lot of people thought that the first one was boring, and when I finally watched it, I was like, this is great. This is amazing. I love it. It's just so, like, when you're watching those movies, it's like adrenaline is pumping, heart is thumping, I'm jumping off my seat. It's just so like scary, just because like The Purge is one of those movies where like you know that this might actually happen for real. Like this could possibly happen in this country. No cap. And that's scary. That's scary. Like the did y'all go to Universal Studios like a couple years ago where they had the Purge theme? That was so scary, so scary, so scary. There was people in like masks from the Purge, and they were running around with like axes and saws, chainsaws, knives, whatever. They were just like chasing you around the park. It was so scary. It was so good. It was so good. And like they had that siren noise. Oh my gosh, the panic, the panic. But anyway, I love all the Purge movies. The new Purge movie, it's called The Forever Purge. And yes, it has been announced, sad, that this is the last Purge movie that they will ever make. Heartbroken. It is set to come out in July 2nd, 2021. So it's just like 2 months from now. Wait, May, June, July. Yeah. We have a whole new cast. I do believe so. I don't think well, I think the last Purge movie, which was the Purge, the fourth Purge, that one was actually, it was kind of like the backstory of the Purge movies. It like went back to the very beginning of like why the Purge even started, and it's called the first Purge, right? The Purge 4 is called the first Purge, and it talks about the first ever Purge and what happened and why it happened. So I think this Purge 5 that comes out in July, I think this is going to be about I don't think it's going to go back to the beginning anymore because they already did that. I think it's going to continue on as to like maybe I mean it might possibly end up being that this is the last Purge and they finally are able to break this crazy cycle or whatever. But I do think it's going to come back to like present time. It's no longer going to be like about the past. We do have, I think, a lot of new characters. I don't see any characters from the other Purge movies, like the second and third Purge, where it had the same guy, who was like out for revenge or something, and then in like the fourth Purge, he was like the security to the new senator or something like that. I don't think he's in this movie. There's actually a lot of new faces. I don't think I recognize any of these people. We have Anna de la Regura, Josh Lucas, Levin Rabin, Will Patton, Denoch Huerta, Cassidy Freeman, Veronica Falcon. I don't know any of these people, but it looks like a pretty diverse cast. Usually the Purge does have a diverse cast. Because it's usually like, except for the first movie, the second, third, fourth, fifth movie at this point usually revolve around like low income individuals and kind of their struggle through the Purge and like how they have it the worst because they're like on the battleground, they're not up there in the hills being protected by gates and security and all this stuff. So usually you see like a lot of POC people in these movies. I'm gonna see if I can find like a premise to the movie. I don't believe that a trailer has come out, which is pretty odd because it comes out July 2nd, so that's not that far away. So you would think that they would have a trailer by now, but I guess not. Yes, it says plot unknown, the fifth and final installment of the Purge film series. So the plot is unknown. I actually like that they have it under wraps. I hate spoilers. If you watch a movie with me, um, or if you're like my best friend who loves to spoil movies, I hate that. And please, please, keep it secret. Let me guess. I love being surprised. I hate spoilers. So I actually really like the fact that they're keeping it under wraps so that the storyline doesn't come out and, it's not ruined before the release. Hmm. Yes, Plot Unknown, the fifth and final installment of the Purge film series. Rated R for strong, bloody violence and language throughout. Trivia: did you know Jason Blum talked with Sylvester Stallone about starring in the movie? That's funny. If Sylvester Stallone was in this movie, I like Sylvester Stallone. I think he would have been cool. So Jason Blum or Blum, Blumhouse Productions or Blumhouse Productions. I think it's Blumhouse. But he also produced this movie, The Purge, so you already know it's gonna be a banger. I mean, they really don't have anything about the movie except for the cast, and they have like the poster of the film, and in the poster they have the infamous Statue of Liberty costume, and then like the eyes are kind of like crossed out. It's like creepy. We got like an Abraham Lincoln mask, someone with an Abraham Lincoln mask on, and what's it called? What's his name? That one man that's like, we want you. That's supposed to be like, come to the like join the army, join the military. What's his name? Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam. We have like a creepy Uncle Sam mask. People dress like the founding fathers with bats and rifles and the American flag. Real creepy. Unless this is like a poster from the past movies. It could be. I'm just seeing like riots on the street. There's like sparks everywhere. Like there's fires. Pictures from the movie. Honestly, it looks like the whole freaking city's gonna burn down. That's what it looks like to me. I'm so excited. I'm super excited. So, other honorable mentions that I'm not going to mention in this video, but I'm also super excited about watching is there's a new Candyman movie coming out that will be that was either co-written or produced by Jordan Peele. So if you don't know Jordan Peele, he's super popping right now for movies like Get Out and Us. He is a part of this new Candyman movie, and if you haven't seen the original Candyman, it's super great. It's so good. It's scary. A classic as well. I don't know if it's gonna go off of like the original. I don't know if this Candyman is gonna be like an exact remake of the original Candyman or if it's kind of gonna be like a whole new storyline. But either way, I'm super excited for that. Can't wait to see that one. And I know there's other ones. There's other movies that are gonna be coming out. I am excited about. I don't think this is gonna come out until like 2023 because it actually hasn't started filming yet. But Jordan Peele is directing a new movie, Untitled, but it's gonna star Keke Palmer. I forget his name. I love him. He's so hot and so amazing. Such an amazing actor. He's from the movie Get Out. He's the main character. So him, Kiki Palmer and oh my gosh, Stephen Young. Stephen Young, he's from the Minari movie, which just won like an Oscar, and he's from The Walking Dead as Glenn. He's gonna be in the new movie by Jordan Peele, so I'm super excited. Just like a bunch of good-looking people, good-looking people. I'm super excited for that. I know there was another movie that's gonna be coming out really soon that I was also excited for. I was rudely interrupted before someone came banging at my door. But anyways, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm like sweating. It's so hot in this room. Like, I closed the window just to make sure that I don't have a lot of noise coming into the room. But I almost made it through the entire video pretty much quiet except for the very end. But please come back because I'm thinking that the next video I'm gonna do is gonna be a book review on, it's gonna be another lo-fi video, whisper slash soft-spoken rambling on a book that I'm listening to on Audible. I love drama, new adult type of books. I don't like nonfiction, stuff like that. I really like drama, like college age stuff, because it's just like me, you know? I can relate. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what scary movies you're looking forward to. Which one of the ones that I talked about do you like the most? Do you like the least? Or which one are you the most excited about watching? Please let me know